Good evening everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome to the second club live stream. My name is Paul Mackay and I'm here with Emma. Emma, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. I'm excited to be doing this again.
So we were here 3 months ago with our first ever club live stream and we really enjoyed it. The feedback was that you folk really enjoyed it, but there were some things that we can do to sort of tweak and improve, which hopefully you'll see throughout this evening. But we've got a lot for you, which is brilliant. So we're going to start with some community news and Analog Wonderland updates. We're going to talk about some new products that are coming out. We've got some breaking news for you as well, which is very exciting. We then have a very special guest who's going to come do a skill session with us all, where we will hopefully learn and be inspired to shoot some different types of film photography. And then of course we finish with the club photo competition, where you've all sent in loads of gorgeous entries on the theme of spring. So that's all to come over the next hour and a half. Before we get into that, Emma, what have you been up to the last 3 months? Shooting lots of film?
Always shooting film.
The correct answer. But you obviously, well, I suppose we can start with the community update. You talk to the community every single day, so
yeah.
Rather than us talking, starting about just what we've been doing, what have other people been doing?
So we've got a lot of exciting things from our club members. We've been sent a few zines, which is always really cool to see people's work printed. This was by, I'm going to make sure I get everyone's names. We've got Richard Alonso, Emily Ballston, Brian Ethington, Ewan Hennessy and Jeff Parks. And some of these guys are who actually organised the photo walks we've done recently. So they got together and made, they call it a zine, but it's essentially a book. It's a book.
This is a beautifully printed book.
Yeah, of all of them. They've called it Analog Joy. So it was a big group collaborative effort. And yeah, it's really lovely. It's got a good mix of film stocks. I think they mentioned at the back when they were shooting this, it was a time colour stock was quite hard to get hold of, but they've still got a massive variety of photos in there. So yeah, really nice to see what you guys have been up to. And then the lab were actually sent this one. So these were photos that were all, I think, taken on film, bought from Analog Wonderland and developed by our lab. And this was by Ashley Kathleen, I think her name is. Ooh. And it's all about her home country in Romania. She's taken lots of lovely photos documenting it, which is, yeah, beautiful. Really nice to see work printed like that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sending those in. I mean, we love them. They do sit on our kitchen table
Proudly.
as we do. So as people take breaks and things, everyone enjoys great quality film photography. You mentioned a photo walk as well. Was that club members? So
that was a club member walk that happened, I think 2 weeks ago now in Manchester. The guys really persevered. I think we had 2 train strikes, but they still, I think they had several meeting points and were working out park and rides and all sorts, so they were determined that the walk went ahead. So that looked like a really brilliant day, and they collaborated with Northwest Film Photo, which is a sort of collective going on Instagram trying to get a stronger community of film photographers up in the north. So yeah, that looked like a great day too. And we've got lots of workshops coming up as well, so we're super busy. We're working with SAME, which is the Shoreditch Academy of Image Making in London. We did a workshop with them in November, which covered film processing.
Yeah, black and white was it?
Yeah, so hopefully some of the guys are returning who came to that workshop with their contact sheets of the photos they took on the day and developed themselves, and they're going to be learning how to print, do contact prints. I think there's one space left in that workshop, which is taking place next Saturday if anyone's interested. And then we have a She Hearts film workshop coming up too, which I'm really excited about. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time, so we've rented out a studio in London for the day. It's only £20 a ticket and you get a full professional studio for the full 6 hours with all their equipment, facilities, assistants on hand to help us. So yeah, that would be a really nice chance for people to have a go at studio photography, which we don't all get to do. And then Karen's also been busy planning workshops. I think she's got one in Brighton in August soon, with the Intrepid guys who've opened up their own sort of studio darkroom
We'll talk more about that in a minute.
Yeah,
our
Kate
special
knows
guest
a bit
may or
about
may
that.
not be involved.
Yeah. And hopefully Karen will be planning a LGBTQ plus photo walk soon as well. There's one more thing. Oh, just something I thought I'd tell you guys about, especially with like summer holidays coming up. So we released our little sticker recently with the Do Not X-ray symbol on.
Oh yes.
As a sort of warning when you're travelling with film, and this sparked a lot of conversation in our Facebook group, and some of the guys in there have actually made a spreadsheet. So every time someone's going on holiday, they're now going on that spreadsheet and writing down their experiences at which airport with the film, what happened. So I know people get a bit anxious about travelling with film, so you'll have a big catalogue on there to look through what's happened and be prepared for your trip. So
because you also updated, you wrote the blog post last year and you've updated it, so we could even link maybe to that.
Yeah, I mean, people do worry about it. Don't take as much film as you possibly can, but hopefully this spreadsheet, which is really cool, they've worked on together, will put some minds at ease.
Yeah, and also as the new CAT machines come through, it's helpful as a piece of data for all of us who care to be able to go and talk to people. So, wow, that sounds amazing. So, the club has been busy.
Very busy, what we like to see.
I mean, the other thing that came out from the live stream 3 months ago was that several of you wanted to sort of zoom in on a few specific topics, and an hour and a half every 3 months was never really going to be able to do that. Either we'd alienate some people who didn't care about what we're talking about, or we'd try and fit so much in we just didn't really touch on it. So Karen and Emma have also been doing click and chats.
Yes.
Across a few different topics, haven't you? You started with gear. Always a favourite one. Yeah,
we've covered a lot. They've been sort of every 2 weeks for the last month or so, maybe a bit longer. We've done gear, photo books was an interesting one. We did a session on female photographers. And they span all sorts of conversation that just sort of flows through. And it's been really interesting to talk to you guys and see what you're shooting at the moment and what you're interested in discussing. A lot of people were actually talking about large format photography. Following on from some of those talks, so it's good for us to know directly what all the club is up to and what you want to be doing.
So obviously those happen sort of in the middle of the day, so I know they're not perfect for everyone, but I think if you nothing will ever be perfect for everyone, but I think what would be amazing, we're all live now, you can Karen's monitoring the chat in the background as well. If you have any topics that you think would be great, please feel free to pop them down, and I'm sure she'll look at it and add it to the list. And if you've been along to them and liked them, then again, pop a nice word and help encourage. Similarly, if you've not heard of these yet, then they're on the website under the sort of the Club AW section, or just drop Emma a note via Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and we'll make sure you get involved, because the whole point is that we can pull in people. If we don't know, we'll pull in an expert who can sit and talk for a while, or just share our experiences. That sounds awesome. And we sent you out to a camera club as well, didn't we?
Yeah, it was an interesting experience. And it was really good. I wasn't sure what to expect. It was Kingston Camera Club, and they were all very lovely. It was a slightly older audience than I'm used to, but bless them for going out on their Thursday evening, shooting film still. I had one guy there who I think was 92, still coming to his camera club every week, which is amazing. He did fall asleep, but I won't take it personally.
There's nothing wrong with a brief nap as part of a talk.
But yeah, it went really well. It was interesting. I was talking to some people on Instagram who saw I was there, saying they probably had the same talk 20 years ago about why you should shoot digital, not film, and now it's sort of gone full circle, and I brought a load of cameras with me, and they were all reminiscing about old gear and their favourite film stocks, and I think a lot of them were quite surprised about how much is going on in film now as well, so hopefully get a few of them back to it.
That is, in fairness as well, we remember in 2019 we talked about visiting some camera clubs, and then obviously COVID came and killed a lot of that, so it's amazing that they've clearly just continued throughout that. If there's been anything as well that you guys have been up to that we haven't talked on, or you'd like to do a shout out, then please do drop us a note, and we'll give a quick chat here. Wow, okay, that is a huge amount of community stuff.
Yeah, lots going on.
Which is brilliant. That's even before the summer hits. So the other thing actually that's worth mentioning is Analog Spotlight, which is the event that is I'm part of the organising committee, but it's independent of Analog Wonderland. And we had our first one last year in Worcester, and we've just announced the next one, which will be in October in Nottingham. So if you head to the Analog Spotlight website, you can have a look and sort of sign up for details. We've sort of locked the venue. It's a beautiful venue, really lovely independent venue in Nottingham. We've locked the date, but the rest of it is still being worked. But save the date, because that's one that will combine sort of workshops and stalls and lessons and photo walks from a load of different things. Okay, so whistle stop tour really of some of the cool workshops and things. I think before we go into maybe some of the products, I think there is one bit of breaking news that I think is worth sharing in a bit more detail. So this is publicly going live tomorrow morning, but you're in the club, you get the inside track, here it is. So as of last evening, 6 p.m, Analog Wonderland has acquired Silverpan Film Lab in Bristol, which is hugely exciting for everyone involved. Silverpan, for those who don't know, they are slightly out of Bristol town centre, a wonderful professional film lab run by a chap called Duncan Gammon, who is a proper lab geek in the nicest possible way. He has always been really into the chemistries in the films. He actually started the business at the same time as Analog Wonderland in the same month, so I've known him, we've sort of leaned on each other across all these times. But I think, the reason that we're excited about this now, I think, is, apart from the fact we get on so well, when we started the lab here 18 months ago, which feels crazy, 18 months, but it is, we always thought we want to be able to process every film that we sell, not just the standard but also the niche ones. And what sort of happened is the demand for the core services has been so great, which is obviously a wonderful thing, that realistically with the space we have and the expertise we have, I just can't see a world where we can get ahead of ourselves enough to generate an in-house ECN2, E6, that kind of thing. Meanwhile, of course, Duncan is an absolute specialist in all of those chemistries. His equipment is incredible. He's got a Hasselblad FlexTight. He's got multiple manual jobos. His passion really is in offering a personalised service. So he's the kind of guy who, when you turn up with a black and white film and ask for it developed, he will say which chemistry, stand or rotary, which scanner, and that's amazing. So sort of the hope is that by coming together, two things really. One is that we can focus on the core services and get that quality and speed just absolutely perfect for the majority of films, and Duncan can focus on a bit more of the specialist and the niche and the personalised service. While at the same time, of course, it gives us another physical retail space outside of the London node. And also for Duncan, he's done such an amazing job building that, and he's got to the point where I think he's just quite looking forward of sort of sending us all the business admin so he can focus on developing, which I think is totally fair enough. But enough from me. We actually have a little video from Duncan, filmed specially, beamed straight into this little live stream where he will talk a little bit about the merger from his point of view.
Hi, I'm Duncan Gammon from Silverpan Film Lab. I'm really excited about the news we've got for you today, that we're joining forces with Analog Wonderland. It's a really great opportunity for both parties. On Analog Wonderland's part, getting the benefit of our kind of expertise in different development styles, black and white development with the multiple of developers, our access to our bespoke scanning options such as on the FlexTight scanner and things like that. We're really excited to join forces with Analog Wonderland and gain their expertise in marketing, in scale and reach, and the customer focus that you guys have got, which I've always been in awe of. Both me and Paul started our businesses at about the same time 5 years ago, and we've kept in touch throughout all of this time in various work environments and things like that. So I'm really excited to be working with Paul and his team, and being part of the new Analog Wonderland umbrella. So yes, and hopefully in time we will be doing more YouTube and kind of marketing opportunities that tell you a bit more about the things that we do here on the Silver Pan side of things. Well, that's it for now for me, but yeah, glad to be part of it.
Okay, well, there we go. You've heard it from myself and now from Duncan. So that sort of happened now. If you're in the Bristol area, I suppose the immediate thing is that as of probably Friday morning, Duncan will have some film to sell in store as well, as he skims off some of our colour film and makes it available for you folk. Apart from that, there won't be anything immediately drastic or dramatic. We're really, really careful that we want to protect the best of both businesses, and as we come together, we don't lose any of that. So we'll move slowly and cautiously towards that, but I think it is exciting that, as I say, in the future, that'll come together really, really nicely. So there we go, some breaking news. So please don't put it on socials yet. 9 AM tomorrow, it should start to filter out a little bit more, but I wanted to share it with all of you. Massive. Okay, so aside from that, we've got our Kodak competition going on the lovely Portra 160. So we this is obviously we do Kodak competitions twice a year. So that's every couple of years, twice a year. And this summer we focused on Portra 160. It's a gorgeous film. For those of you who worry about not having a 160 setting, please don't. Shoot it at 200 or indeed 100, and your camera, your film, and your photos will still be brilliant. This does replace the sort of the club competition. We thought it might get a bit complicated trying to run two, but if you enter the Kodak competition and tick that you are a club member, you will be valid for a secondary club owned prize. So we sort of combined the two in that way. But please do check online on the site for that. What else is going on? Some new products. Let's talk a couple of new products. Emma, what have we got?
So some of these will be on the website very soon. They're currently on Paul's desk, but that's fine. This one is from a company you guys might have heard of called Jolly Look. They're based in the Ukraine, and they sell sort of DIY pinhole camera kits, but they actually take Instax film. So hopefully I'll open it up the right way. I always get it wrong.
I mean, these guys have been around for a while. I remember one of my friends trying their camera, must have been 5 or 6 years ago, and I think it was cardboard. Bye. There we go.
So it like pulls out here, and then it's got a crank here that the Instax film comes out of, and you can set the exposure on the back. It's really clever, and it was fun, if a bit challenging. Got my brother involved to help build it, but if you like Instax film and want like a different way to shoot it, then yeah, these will be available soon.
They're really fun actually, so they come as a build your own kit, but then they make a fully functioning analog Instax camera, which is pretty epic. So as soon as Paul gets his stuff together, shall we say?
He's just back from holiday. So
exactly. Give me a couple of days, maybe. Then we'll get that sorted. So that'll come through. What else have you got for us in your pile of goodies?
So we've got, well, it's kind of new but old news, because we finally got some lomography turquoise. We were waiting for a long time for this, but I'm excited that it's here. We just posted a blog on it recently if you want some tips for shooting it. So it was an existing emulsion, but I'm not sure how long ago.
Yeah, I mean, I shot it 7-8 years ago and loved it. And then lomography had been working on this for ages. It's not an easy thing to bring back. They were concerned about whether it would make sense. They have a global reach as well. They're not just looking at UK, sadly. But really pleased that it's happened. It took a while from their initial launch, but again, that's no criticism of them. Like, the complexity is immense. But no, it's in. We've got multiple formats. I actually shot some on my holiday last week and got them back, the scans back, about an hour or two ago, and they are just, I remember, super trippy, lovely colour shifts, really, really striking in good light. So, and I always love it. I love it when lomography do a film because they bring it in 110, and that always just makes me happy, because my 110 camera is like, yay, something new to play with. It's like when they gave me Metropolis, and they're like, can you shoot some for samples? And I was like, only on 110.
Very fun. This is from the Rito guys, isn't it? I mean, Rito, I feel like they're just bringing stuff out all the time. They're like smashing out of the park. But they brought out Aqua and Glow films.
So these are, I mean, there's a few different people doing this in slightly different ways, but this is repurposed cinema film. But what I really like about the way they've thought about this is, you can get bogged down in tungsten, daylight, colour balance, filter stuff, and they've just gone, well, you know what, we're going to produce 2 400 speed films called Aqua and Glow. Glow is going to be a bit warmer, Aqua's going to be a bit cooler. If you shoot them normally, scan them normally, and having done that, it does look like that. So I love on the images as well. It's very much holiday season. So if you like your colours slightly cooler or warmer, you know where to go.
And then these two, I just thought I'd show for fun because Paul and I are both Holga fans. So we got 2 new colours, and they're just lovely.
Do you have a favourite colour, any chance, Emma?
Maybe this one,
yeah. And this one is on my desk job. Things to do, but they will be gorgeous.
As are these.
As are these, yep.
Oh, sorry, I've lost one, but you can imagine it. These are from Film Never Die, that are an Australian brand.
Yeah, Melbourne.
They do loads of cool stuff. They've got the film vending machines and an amazing lab out in Australia. I think a lot of these were available in 35mm first, but yeah, they've brought them out in 120, which is...
No.
Oh, ignore me.
The roll confuses. No, it's the beautiful cardboard canisters. No, these are all 35mm.
Oh, awesome.
And they are sat on my desk ready to go live.
So a lot of good stuff to come.
Yes, exactly. Keep an eye on your emails. I will, of course, let people know if those tickle your fancy. Has anyone shot the Film Never Die ones before? Because the Kiro one came out a couple of years ago, and they had slightly different. They had the cat that sort of rotated over.
Made a sort of jigsaw of a leopard or something when you got 3. Yeah. It was very satisfying to pack orders.
Perfect.
And then the last but most exciting one, Wonder Pan. Yay!
So this was, we've been having a lot of fun with this. Actually, you know what, before I dive into it, I think the one thing that I'll say, hopefully you've seen Wonder Pan from the emails and the blogs and things as we go through. So this was an idea that we had for our 5th birthday back in May, that we would sort of bring out a film to have some fun with. Now, again, we're all among friends here, and I'm very aware that there are some people in the community, some of whom have written to me anonymously, often, concerned that we're going to be ripping people off. And I understand where that's coming from. I think I would just say trust us. Trust us. This is not a £2 film that I'm trying to make lots of money on. This is a film that is normally shot at ISO 100. It's Wonder Pan 400. For a reason. We're going to be talking about how to push it. We're going to be talking about what kind of look that gives you. I mean, I'm a contrast junkie. I've always said that. This definitely gives you that contrast. So we need to finish making it. It's going to take a couple of weeks. 29th of June it will go live. Sample photos hopefully are rotating through as I sort of talk. Gorgeous black and white film, and yes, more to come on that. But if you're interested in that, if you like the look, inspired by which game, Emma?
Cooking Mama.
Cooking Mama from Nintendo DS. Was it DS?
A classic. I need to find my DS. I'm like craving to play it now.
There we go. Inspired by a DS game from many years ago. It's a lot of fun. We've enjoyed the artwork, and when it goes live, there'll be deals for you guys as well in particular. So do not fear. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. A lot of fun. Limited rolls only, for reasons that will become clear eventually.
Yeah, the team aren't my biggest fans.
Exactly.
Just had a question through. Are you planning on stocking Cat Lab's new Colour 120 film?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. As always with new films, absolutely. It often takes a bit of time to get to the right volumes, and people often want to fulfil them for their own customers first, which obviously makes total sense. So yes, it will be on the way.
I think that's it. Quite a lot to cover.
I mean, that is quite a lot. Thank you so much, though.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Right then, okay, we will move on to the next section. So, thank you so much, Emma. Do you mind if I just hand a couple of things as well, seamlessly through? So there we go. So we've done the community update and talked a little bit about products that are coming through. Now the skills session. So last skill session was me talking about ISO, and the feedback was pretty universally that it was slightly boring, which is fair enough. Informational, but slightly boring. So we've gone totally the other way, and we now have entertainment central alongside the education. I am thrilled to bring to the live stream Kate Hook.
Hello. Hi.
Yay! Kate's here!
Yay!
Kate, and you are fresh from Bavaria, Barcelona.
That was like 6 months ago, but you know.
Sure.
Yeah,
Fresh from, well, they've gone live now. You've done Bavaria, you've done Barcelona, you're now doing High Wycombe. The big three. You were with Nikon there,
Yes.
shooting ads.
Yes,
for
shooting
them.
a commercial with them. I know.
So, congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing. To have a true film photographer. I know they'll have been talking about digital lenses and cameras, but true film photographer that you're being asked to do that and share your skills is just absolutely amazing. So, thank you so much for coming and joining us. So,
No problem.
what else have you been up to down in Brighton?
Well, you mentioned just previously about Intrepid, because I have been helping Karen, connecting her with Naomi at Intrepid Studios, to do workshops together in August, and I'm going to also be doing workshops with Intrepid Studios in July, and they're going to be sponsored by Kodak. So amazing. And so we're doing one multi-exposure workshop, and then we're going to be doing a model workshop with my wonderful friend Ennis, who is doing really well herself. She's appeared in a couple of music videos, she's going to be appearing in a couple of adverts as well. So me and my friends are just kind of breaking into the commercial world a little bit.
Okay.
So it's quite
Amazing.
fun. And and because this is obviously the Analog Online Club, I can somewhat announce that I will be doing a photo walk with Lomography as well in July, but we haven't actually announced that yet. But
Breaking news. We'll
Yeah.
keep it under our hats.
yeah, but that's going to be happening in July as well. which is
Whereabouts?
great. It's going to be in Brighton as well.
Amazing.
We're going to be doing a photo walk, most likely around the seafront, around some of my favourite spots. And yeah, I'll be taking some people around to take some cool photographs around Brighton, which I'm super excited about.
Amazing. That sounds brilliant. And of course, you're still creating incredible videos on TikTok, YouTube.
I'm
Yeah.
starting to do YouTube again. I did film a video the other week of just kind of like a catch up of what I've been doing, because I know I haven't done a video in over a year, which is really bad. But TikTok really took over last year. It's just a bit like I've kind of chilled out a little bit on TikTok because it was just so intense, and I didn't realise how big it was until I did the Nikon advert, and then it was like, oh. Okay. It gave me some perspective on what was going on, and seriously, as soon as I got off the plane from Bavaria, and I was just getting emails and other bits coming through, and I was just like, oh, okay, things are starting to kind of trickle in a little bit more, which has been really cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is lovely. So, and obviously, I've known Kate for many years. There's YouTube videos, I think, from 5 years ago that you were doing, helping with this when Analog One launched. But you're here today to teach us some things, to educate and inspire. So what are you going to be covering?
I'm going to be covering filters. We're going to be covering 4 kinds. We're going to be covering gradient, star, multi-image, and speed. Just because those are typically the ones that I started with. And yeah, so we also have some photo examples as well to show.
Brilliant. Well, I will be your glamorous assistant, so
Yes.
you head away and just point me when you need me to do things.
Okay, cool. So first of all, this is my camera. It's by Nikon. So can you imagine why
Big money, big money.
Because gotta shout them out.
Love it.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of people do get kind of confused when they do see this attachment, because they just think, oh, is that a lens? And it's just an attachment that you put on the front of your lens, and you take the cover off and you pop one of your filters on. And we're going to talk first about the gradient filters.
Show it over here as well, so hopefully people can see. So it sits nicely on the top. Rotates through.
So we're going to talk about gradients first, like gradual filters, like so. So what the point of these are is, so if you just want to pop one of the photos on there, you can use these in different variations. Typically back in the day, they just used to help bring out colour in the sky, typically.
So these are colour gradients, not neutral.
Yeah, you
texture
can.
gradients.
Yeah, these are colour ones, but you can use neutrals for, say, for cloudy weather, that sort of thing. I don't. If I see cloudy skies, I'm pretty much banging one of these on, because it does actually help quite a lot actually having these on. And I tend to mix them up quite a bit, but I've noticed quite a lot of young people, I say young people, Gen Z, who are shooting with these. They like to use these down at the beach. I've seen a few other coking videos, which is really cute, where people are using the gradients to kind of just morph and change the colour of the sky or the ground. And it's just one of the really simple, easy type of filters that you can use if you just want something to have a bit more of a pop in your colour. So if you just want to show these ones. So these photos are 2 of the same. And this is where I've used 2 gradient filters and a speed filter. to kind of just bring out the colour. So it was actually just a normal sunny day when I took these, and it just gave a lot more of a pop to the scenery down at Brighton Beach, because I take a lot of photos down at Brighton Beach.
So do you always use filters, or do you wait for a certain scene, or when you're in a certain mood?
So what I do is I'll pack my bag up with my filters, and I'll just be walking around and seeing like, oh, would it work with this filter? I'll try different things, but a lot of the times I do like to shoot without filters, just because I always get known for something. And like for ages it was film souping.
I remember.
Yeah, for ages it was film souping, and before that it was multi-exposures, and now it's the filters. So I always kind of feel a bit like I can't always keep doing filters, but then I'll be out shooting and then I'll see something and kind of, I was out yesterday taking some photos, and I'll just pair some up that I haven't even done before. So I like to have them with me just in case, but I don't go out thinking I'm definitely going to shoot with this, and I gotta take photos with this filter specifically.
So it's like the way you might take different lenses and things as well.
Yeah,
it's just another.
Yeah. So it gives you a bit more variation. So with the gradients, I always just find that those they're a really good starting point in regards to how you just want to do some more colourful photographs. So the next filters we're going to talk about, because I think this is the one that I get a lot of questions about, is the star filters. So this is probably my go-to filter that I use quite a lot, and this is just one of them right here. You can get different kind of like sizes with them if you just want to hold that in front of you.
Oh yeah.
And I really like using these kind of filters for portraits in particular as well. And one tip is, if you want to shoot with a star filter, I'm putting the wrong packet there, it's actually to shoot with a higher f-stop than a low one. So like f16, like around that region, because you get more of a glare that I've discovered. So if you just want to pop these ones on as well.
And is this reflecting light bouncing back, or does it just amplify light that already exists in the scene?
It amplifies lights and just splits it off a little bit. So these are probably my two favourite portraits. The one of my friend Ellie is quite funny actually, in particular, because we were actually getting kicked out of the place when we were taking that photograph. Yeah, and it turned out really good, and that was just using a star filter, and she had all this light behind her and just stretched it out and just made it look completely different. I think it can really help change the scene quite a lot.
So it's giving, is that coming from the filter as well?
Yeah, that's all coming from the filter, so it just stretches.
And the glitter ball.
Yeah, and then you got my friend Elle, so Ellie and Elle. So we just have the star filter on with that photograph, and we just have the effect coming through from behind her, and it just, for me, really helps make the photograph and really emphasises the kind of look we were going for. And again, this is a really simple filter that you can start with using stars, because you can get different sizes. You can get them quite big, quite small, and yeah.
And in this one, so was this focused at infinity or?
Yeah, so that was
distant?
focused at. So that was so she was purposely out of focus, so we can focus on the foreground, on the background instead, just so we can get a really angelic effect going on with the photographs. And we also just got a normal one here, which is just of the sea, because I take a lot of pictures of the sea.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love that photo. And again, you could just take really simple photographs with a star filter. It really does add something to it. Because where I live, there's a lot of light everywhere. Of course, it's summer, so I'm banging on the star filters all the time now. But I try and refrain to do it all the time, because I don't want to be too starry in all my photographs. But I think it really does give such a magical look to your photographs, and it's just something I suggest. You don't even need to use like the coking ones for these ones. You can just get the circular star filters. They're probably one of the most common filters that you can get, and I've always used them. I actually posted an old photograph the other day from 2016 where there's a star filter that's being used, because you can see it in the flash. So I've always whacked them on, I've always used them, and now it's just like a lot more emphasis now.
So that's just part of your creative toolkit.
Yeah. Next filters we're going to talk about are my multi-image ones.
And do you use specific films?
The films I use a lot of Kodak, obviously. I really love lomography's film as well. So when I use like the colour filters, for example, with the gradients, I always use this normal colour film, because I don't really want to be using like the experimental like lomochromes or the double films or anything that's been kind of reanimated film where there's effects added onto it, because again, you don't know if that's going to be your stuff or their stuff, and it's a bit unpredictable. I've yet to try it with the Lumichrome turquoise with the gradients, because I think that could be quite interesting.
That would be interesting, yeah.
So with these ones, and this is where I went really viral on TikTok, because I just held this in front of my face, lip synced over Tina Belcher and got 20 million views.
Boom.
So here you go.
Magic, right
here.
here.
You go. This is how we're going to get 20 million views.
Dude, I
Yeah, so you just have these filters and you just pop them on.
I mean, this one feels quite thick. Is there a problem with... Oh no, you're doing it there. Yeah, I was about to ask you that.
So they're all slot inside, so they are designed so they can fit onto the cameras quite easily, like so.
Show that under the camera as
Yeah.
well. So you can see it has quite a bit of depth to it, but it still fits really well.
You're meant to layer them up. That's kind of like the point with these Koken filters.
So you can see there's 3 different grooves.
Yeah, and again, like with the multi-image ones, which I really like, it does give you, they're the ones I'm trying to tackle a little bit more, especially with portraits. But I always think these are really fun when you go out, and especially if you're just taking like tourist photos like me. And this would be a little example of what we might be doing with Analog Wonderland, Intrepid, and very soon. This is the kind of stuff that you'll be able to do, hopefully at some point.
And how do you, so have you had to choose something that is perfectly isolated to this depth and then it's replicated?
Yeah, it works. Like, it helps quite a lot. So with the 360 tower that we have in Brighton, that's always kind of a tackle, like to try and like, how can you photograph that so it actually looks quite interesting? So that was me trying to line up I'm only just a little bit off, but it's just a really good tool to kind of use if you just want something that has a little bit more pizzazz, I would say. Like, you just want a bit more going on in your photograph. And I'm really fond of using multi-image filters, and that's a filter I kind of want to use a little bit more of.
And did you have to line up the filter as well in particular then to get it there? Because like this one's replicated to the side and that one's straight ahead. Is that?
Yeah, because you can rotate it with the Koken filters. You can rotate them. That's kind of like the point. So you can rotate them so they change shape. You can do that with circular filters as well, because normally some of them have like a little handle on, so you can like rotate them. So you can line it up so it does line up quite perfectly. That's just a tiny bit off, just a little bit off. But yeah, so you can. So
and you're using an SLR so that you can presumably see.
Yeah, you use SLR, you can use rangefinders. I also have a medium format Pentax as well, which I use the filters on as well. So it is a little bit different, and different lenses will give out different effects as well. So some stuff will be a little bit more intense, some won't. It just totally depends on what you're using.
Got it.
And I think the last filter we're going to talk about is the super speed filter, which has gotten me very, very popular. And I remember last time I was here, I was telling Emma about how it cost me, my first one, because I have bought a few more since, how it cost me, about £1 from an Oxfam shop.
Yeah.
And people are selling these like 40 quid now on eBay. And I'm just like, oh no. So I feel quite bad, because I have seen some other people, other brands who I won't name, up the prices of their version of it ever since my videos went viral.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we have had a comment. So Molly Gooding has written asking, what is a good place to buy filters and the mount? They looked amazing.
eBay. Honestly, eBay's pretty much the place to go. You can find all sorts of filters on there. I always check. I have my eBay search saved. So I have like, and every single day, there's always new Koken filters. It's actually shocking how often people will be, putting them on eBay, because there's a lot of older generation photographers who are selling their stuff because they think, oh, no one will want to buy these, and then you got people like me who will buy them.
Because the Starburst one I remember was very popular for wedding photography.
Oh yeah.
And there was the soft phase as well, where it was very sort of out of focus a little bit.
Yeah.
Dreamy, think Bonnie Tyler 80s look.
Oh yeah, I'm a very big fan of soft focus filters. I don't have any examples, but I do have some with me.
And you mentioned Koken a few times, so that's a brand that exists today as well as...
They exist today, but they do very modern stuff, so you can have a little look at my little selection.
By the way, can I just say as well, it's not just the filters, it's the gear that comes with it, like...
Little folders.
Like,
So
imagine
cute.
this.
I know, I feel so proper when I open it up and I'm like, ooh, which one I'm going to pull out today? But yeah, Koken are very aware of my videos and very aware of the reaction that people are getting. They are obviously more focused on neutral filters and, digital professional photography. But like I said, they are aware of all of this. They are aware that these are becoming a lot more popular now. They're a wonderful company. I've spoken to some of them last year in Paris, and they're very supportive of the videos, and they just kind of keep an eye on what's going on. And What's interesting is with the Nikon advert, they asked me to bring the filters.
Did they?
Yeah, to shoot them in some commercials, and I was like, oh, okay. But I can't mention the brand, but I'm like, well, I can mention them now. So yeah.
Because they don't make money from
No.
you buying secondhand ones from eBay from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But for them, it's like, we'll stay in touch. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're interested. They're curious about what's going on, because I know they went a little bit more on social media as well in like the last year as well. So they have several Instagram accounts. There's Cooking USA, Cooking France, and Cooking Filters specifically, and they'll reshare like a lot of my videos as well, but because they want to just see what the engagement is like and what the public reaction.
We organising a petition,
maybe
a march?
it's just like maybe message them, maybe comment them, maybe just be like, hey, bring these back, because they need to know. They need to know. That's what I'm saying. They need to know.
And is the mount modern, or is that?
You can actually get new modern mounts. There are there are companies that will make their own versions of these, but I do believe it's patented. But this is a Koken one. You can get these really cheap, these like mounts as well, and the covers. So you can get the whole, like even the rings that you need for your filter, like so it fits onto your lens for like.
I was about to say, so that would be one. Or do you have a stop down?
So it comes off like so. So basically, it's like a filter ring that's attached onto the filter. Yeah. And yeah, again, you can get like a standard set for less than 10 quid sometimes on eBay. It's mad. I'm glad like the prices haven't gone crazy. Like a lot of people haven't price gouged too much, but you can still find these filters and everything you need like crazy cheap on eBay, or just in local secondhand shops if they have anything like that. So they are around. You just have to look for them.
Because in fairness, this kind of thing is definitely the kind of thing you can imagine seeing at the back of a charity shop where they don't really understand what it is, or
yeah. They won't know what it is, and they're like, because again, when I bought my Super Speed for £1, they had no idea, and they later told me that they were just stockpiling it, and they were just stockpiling all these things.
Well, of course, yeah.
And it was just like, because they didn't know, they just think it's plastic, and I mean, it's resin technically. And they don't know, and they don't know how they're used. I also get a lot of people commenting saying that they were gifted these filters by like their dads, their granddads, family members. They had no clue how to use them, and then they see my videos and they're just like, oh, that's how you use them. So it's really cool. I just wanted to point out the Super Speed as well, because I have a few friends down in Brighton who have since bought their own versions of it, which is really nice. And one of the tips I do tell people is to shoot on a low f-stop, so around 1.4, 2, is because as it's half frame, you can actually see the line if you shoot higher. So, because some of my friends were like, oh, I can still see the line, I can still see it, and it's because you need to shoot on a lower f-stop. So sometimes your
lens... Which is different to the...
Star one. So the Star one you need to shoot high, and the Speed you shoot low.
Got it.
Yeah, and that's kind of it really. So that's how you use those little filters. I also have another standard Speed filter. This one's actually the most common one that you can find, and you can actually still get this on the Koken website still.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like the last one they still have, and in that
one.
side. And it is actually pretty good. I was using it the other day. I don't use it too often, but again, that was the one filter that made me go crazy on TikTok. So, and it is still available. You can still get this one.
So yeah, you can't be guaranteed to go crazy on TikTok. Sadly, that might be Kate's domain, but that's amazing. And so, I guess, well, first of all, thank you. That was a whistle-stop tour of some really, really interesting creative things, and I'm sure there are lots of eBay searches going on right now for competitors. I guess people know filters mostly then neutral density and polarizing probably. So do you still use those as well?
Yes, I do. I actually brought two with me to show you as an example. So, so this is actually, if you wanted to show this picture again. So this is a Verichrome filter, and you probably won't see the difference if you look through it. But when you rotate it, it changes colour, and if you use a neutral polarizing filter, it helps kind of like make it a bit more intense, so it isn't so much light isn't coming into the camera, and it really makes like the colours pop. So I do use polarizing filters quite a lot on my work, so I just whack them on.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. There's so many names for it as well. It's like Magic Pole as well. And I'm like, I like the name Magic Pole because it really is quite magical how when you rotate it on your camera, like it will just shift the colour. So when you use a polarizing filter, it just makes it a little bit more intense. If you don't, it gives it quite a soft effect, which is quite lovely. But I like to, that's typically what I do when I do those kind of photographs, is like use polarizing, Vericolor, Speed, light, stars, because so much light is coming into the camera. You need to have a stop to kind of like make it a little bit more dense, so it isn't just, your light isn't being filled with, you know, light. Your camera isn't being filled with loads of light, basically.
So there's been a question coming through as well. After you talk Koken, Tiffin or Hoya filters, do you have any views on which ones are better, which ones you've used in the past?
I have a few Hoya, they're pretty good actually. But again, it's totally down to customer preference and what you use. I'm really open to everything. So I really like Tiffin filters as well. I know they're quite on it with like creating new filters.
Yeah.
I do see a few people say something like, Tiffin have creative ones, but I haven't used them. So it's only Hoya that I've used.
Oh yeah, I've got quite a few Hoyas.
Yeah.
They had the circular polarizing, I think, were quite available at a decent price a couple of years ago. Brilliant, thank you so much. If there's any more questions, then please do feed them into Karen and we'll go through. But sort of to summarise, if you were interested or would love to try and experiment and shoot photos similar to the ones you've seen there from Kate, then head over to eBay.
Head over to eBay.
Make sure you've got a filter holder that will match your camera.
So because there's two different sizes, I should point out. So this is the A size, and they have a larger size as well, which is the P size, which I'm starting to kind of like explore as well. Those filters are a little bit more rare, so it's just basically lens size. So the P size is more for bigger cameras, bigger lenses. A is the most common for film cameras, but you can actually get the P size and like size down as well. But really, you should be looking for the A size and not P.
A size is most common, and then it'll either fit straight on your lens or there might be a filter.
You get the filter rings, so I would take that off. I don't want to.
No, it's fine.
So you can get so depending on the size of your lens, so like you know how it will say what filter size you need, like a 55, 52. You can get filter rings that will match that as well. So depending on your lens size, I think it goes up to around 65 with an A size.
Which should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can vary. It can go down all the way to like I think 35 as well. So you can fit them onto like Super 8 cameras, which is pretty funky, which I want to explore as well.
I mean, that's a way of spending a lot of money very fast.
I know, very, very, very.
Experimental Super 8. I have a lot of time for that.
Yeah, one day soon, hopefully.
Amazing, and then colour film, shoot some experimenting, and
and message Koken. We should buy one. Tell them that you really like the filters and you want to see them come back.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Kate. That has been absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
If people want to see more of your photographs or find out where you are on TikTok so they can see tips and tricks, where do they head?
So they just search my name, Kate Hook. However, the O's are zeros in my name. And that's where you just find me. I post more on Instagram at the moment. I will be posting more on TikTok very soon, and I'm set to start doing YouTube again eventually. It's just so much work, and a lot of the videos I want to do are very short form friendly, so that's why I tend to do like TikTok a lot more, and Reels as well, which are a little bit more informative, because sometimes it's just a bit easier to say what you need to say in less than a minute than just draw it out in like 10 minutes. But I will be doing YouTube videos again if there is actually a bit of demand, which I think there might be. I'm not sure.
Definitely, I think that's fair. Rachel says, Kate, your boss.
Oh, thank you.
Very true. And then the workshops you mentioned as well. Best place for people to sign up or find out more?
Through Intrepid Studios. If you can either look through them through Intrepid cameras, which is what they're known for. They're amazing large format cameras. You can sign up through their studio website, and there is limited places, and there is going to be a workshop on the 16th of July and on the 22nd of July.
Amazing. Brilliant. Thank you so much once more. Right, that wraps up our skills section. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let us know, and we are now going to seamlessly transition from myself and Kate into Emma and Karen, who are going to be walking through the entries and winners of the Spring Club competition.
So seamless. So good. I definitely did not see myself walk out camera awkwardly.
Yeah, so
Hey.
hello. There were so many photos, so thank you so much for entering. It took me probably about 3 days to upload them all to Flickr.
Karen's still recovering from the Flickr album, but yeah, the photos, like, they're all so beautiful. I think the theme of spring, like, it's just really uplifting and colourful and lovely.
And especially I think when we first started it, it wasn't quite spring yet. The weather was still like really gloomy and depressing. So there was like some pictures from like previous springs coming through that I was like, oh, soon. And now it's here, so.
So we've picked a few special mentions as always, and then we've got one grand winner who will be able to pick a few rolls of film from us and developing from the Wonder Lab. So we'll get straight into it. The first one, I think Karen and I both like this photo. I'm pretty sure it's this way up. This is by Hannah Gimblett and it's called Ward's Farm Spring Tulips.
Yeah.
Why did you like this one, Karen?
So I'm kind of a fan of Hannah's work anyway.
Me too.
So she does a lot of these. I think actually she might have to correct me, but this may be something that she did as an exhibition piece.
Oh, cool.
Because I know that she was doing a series of photos of like flowers, like from her bed, I believe. So yeah, I just love it. I'm impressed when people can make the background look black, even though it probably wasn't black.
What film does she use for
I think
this?
she normally uses Portra.
Yeah, Portra 400, and if you don't know how close you guys can see, but the grain just on the details of the like stem of the tulip is so beautiful. And yeah, like Karen said, Hannah does a lot of work from her bed. We're hoping to work with her on a She Hearts film project soon actually. So Hannah lives with a chronic illness, so she's a lot of the time stuck in bed and really limited by her space and what she can do. So the fact that she produces like these amazing images and like nothing stops her, she's always being creative, is just amazing. So yeah, love that one, really pretty. I think we both like this one as well. We've got similar taste, Karen.
Yeah.
This one.
I mean, who doesn't love sheep?
Yeah, so cute. It's called Spring Lamb by Graham Barden, and this was taken on a favourite HP5. It's just adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went for a hike, must have been like a week or so ago now, around Wales, and there were so many lambs everywhere.
Yeah,
so
they've just said everyone must love a spring lamb.
Yeah.
And say no more. Completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Very cute, well done. Next one. Oh, I hope I'm getting these the right way up.
Yeah, I think that's the right way up.
So this is just a really cool double exposure. This is by Grant Underwood. And he's titled this The Power of Spring, which is cool.
Yeah, it does look like the thing's going.
Spring power.
Yeah.
And that was taken on expired Fujifilm.
Yeah, I really liked, like, I don't know, I think Kodak's really nice for warm colours. Fuji's always really nice for like
for
green
the greens.
colours. I think like it's nice. I just really like it.
Yeah.
And the double exposure as well. I like how clean the edges are. Like quite often, if I ever do double exposures, I just get it like a bit wrong, and it's just I'm not sure like which one I was supposed to be focusing on more. They just kind of like blend into each other. So I like how they've managed to.
Yeah, you can tell when someone's really thought about the frame and how it's going to line up. But yeah, this is really cool. It works really well. Next one is by Steve Malpass. Some lovely pink flowers.
Yeah.
This one. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Steve, my bad. That was Kieran Jones. And this is called Flowers of the Luff. And it was taken on Colour Plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you chose this one, Karen?
Yeah, I mean, flowers in spring is kind of like, that's just what you expect,
sounds
isn't
like
it?
That Devil Wears Prada quote. And
don't
she's like,
remember.
flowers in spring.
Groundbreaking.
But it is.
Well, yeah. I like flowers.
It's a classic.
Yeah, I don't actually know what kind of flowers they are, to be honest.
They're pink.
Pink
That's all
flowers.
that matters.
I like them. Yeah, it looks like there's water in the background or something.
Very nice. So this one is actually by Steve Malpass. And I really like the title of this image. He's called it Full Moon, which is really cool. Karen, why did you like this one?
I just really love the close-up look of it. I get quite a lot of it's dandelion, isn't it? I'm not being stupid. Yeah, we get quite a lot of these in our garden, and I'm always trying to get a really close-up photo, and I've never thought to go on top, probably because I'm quite short and they're always really tall, but so I always like go at it from that angle. So it's nice to see it from the top.
What he said about the photo is quite funny. He said, I love spring, but I absolutely hate these things because I have to remove them by hand from my garden before the seeds get everywhere, and I'm overrun with dandelions. They look pretty though. So took that on a Nikon FM3A with a Voigtlander lens.
Yeah. See, our garden's like fully wild, so the more of these we have, the better.
But you did it deliberately for the photographs, right?
Yeah.
Next one is by Alistair Place. So this one we've printed several ways because it's a very long photo. Very interested to hear how they took it actually. It's called Brilliant Trees. Was taken on Lomography 800. Let me see. Taken on a Holgarama camera and panned through and around the forest. So yeah, this is a bit of a close-up as well.
Yeah.
You can see where all the different frames were, but it's joined up into this really cool image.
Yeah, I just really like this because it just stood out. You know, there were so many amazing photos, so many kind of like repeating themes of obviously stuff that you would expect in spring. But when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's so long. And yeah, trees. It's nice to capture all the trees, and especially when they're all skinny like that. There's a bit of woods that I go to with my dog, and there's loads of woodland areas that have loads and loads of skinny trees, and I'm forever trying to figure out how best to capture it, how my eye sees it.
Yeah, that's a really good choice of camera for this subject. It's really cool. The next one is by Francisco, and this is called Feet Up, which is what I'll be doing after this live stream. And yeah, I just really like this image. It just looks very chill and happy in each other's company.
Yeah.
It was taken on Kodak Gold, and he says, relaxing into another enchanting Parisian spring, jackets off, feet up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks calm, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even though it's probably really busy there, but there's something about it, like the fact that it's captured, it just looks calming.
Yeah, I really like that one. This one is... Oh, guys, I've messed up the names again, I'm sorry. The one before was Katie Mitchell, and this one is Francisco, and this one is called Hide and Seek. I really like this one because I just love the yellow in the flowers. It's a very like springtime colour.
Yeah.
Very
oh,
happy.
and it's in Tuscany as well. Yeah, that's like 100% what I imagine Tuscany to look like as well.
And you were right.
Yeah. Yeah. I recently, when I was in Suffolk, all the yellow, is it the cornflower was all coming out, and the rapeseed, I think maybe. And there was loads of it, but I only had the Wonder Pan film with me, so...
Oh, I let you down there, Karen. Next one is by Gemma Hughes. This one just made me laugh because it's just quite creepy. And it's called Creeping in the Bluebell. Was like Just makes me think the gnome is alive and gonna
Yeah.
do something terrifying.
Gnomes are a bit scary, aren't they?
They say, "This is my nan's gnome that now lives in my grandparents' garden, much to my mum's disgust." Which is why he's hiding amongst the flowers. But yeah, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, and the colour of the bluebells as well is really nice. Bluebells are always lovely to take photos of.
Yeah, there are some flowers that you just think classic springtime.
Yeah.
This next one is by Caleb Doby and it's titled Daisy. I just thought this was a lovely, happy springtime photo. And this was taken on Kodak Ultramax and it was a spontaneous shot at Kew Gardens chilling in the sun. Oh.
It must have been quite early spring with the big coat on, I reckon.
Yeah. Very nice. I think that she just looks happy. It's a nice shot. Nearly on to our winner. This one is by Dora Morris.
Oh, cool.
I just really like this one. It looked like a still from a movie or something. I really like how the sky is sort of striped a bit, but then you've got the stripe of the beach towel as well. Yeah, really cool photo. They haven't said anything about it, but it was taken on Portra 400 in medium format.
Yeah, the glow is just lovely.
Yeah, really nice one. And then we have another one with some lambs because they are just spring icons. This is taken by Thomas Crook and it's titled Lambing Season, and it was also taken on HP5. So if you want to take some pictures of lambs,
Yeah, HP5.
HP5, yeah, the lambs love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought this was really cute and how the lamb is looking like dead at the camera is
Yeah.
really great. Yeah.
That's the good thing about taking photos of lambs. They haven't gotten scared of people yet, so they're quite curious. Well, when I was walking around Wales taking photos of sheep and stuff, all the adult ones were a bit more wary.
Oh, okay.
But the lambs were really curious, so they come up to you a bit more, you know, as long as the parents aren't around. Because I have actually been chased by an adult sheep, like across a field before.
So did they just remember you from last year?
Yeah, maybe they're like, not you again. Yeah.
Cute.
So yeah, beware of the lambs.
A baby lamb yet to be traumatised by Karen Freer. Watch out. Okay, and now we have our winner, and this was taken by Lawrence Arnold.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is also quite a scary animal photo, I suppose, because I'm not sure what happened next, but I just thought it was really impressive that they've captured that and the whole wingspan, and then how the glow of the field behind is just sort of captured on the wings. I thought it was really, really cool.
Mr. West.
And it was taken on Washi X, which is I think one of my favourite sort of new colour films that we've seen out. It's really, really lovely. What's he say about the photo? This is my friend, Mr. West. I have talked to him for about 10 years. When the couple have young, they seem to take them to a bigger lake. At the end of the winter, they come back to prepare to nest again. I hadn't seen him properly for a while, and he came to see me and preened next to me, as he often does. I realised he was going to do a wing flap he likes to show off, and grabbed the camera and got the one shot, no time to frame or change settings, just click.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that was an amazing, like, lucky shot then, if like, or you're just an amazing photographer, obviously.
I mean, being friends with the swan.
Yeah, that obviously helps. Is it a swan or is it a goose? If they're like, you know, travelling
If it's a
seasonally.
goose, it's making me think of that game entitled Goose Game. Do you know it?
No.
Oh no, your viewers will know it. So I'm just thinking the title of it should be Peace is not an option. That's what I just think when I see it.
But it's very cool. It is a bit terrifying, but I'm glad to know that they were friends.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hostile situation.
It wasn't an attack. Not like the
It's a
sheep.
mute swan. It's a mute swan.
A mute swan.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Lawrence is live with us.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. Congratulations.
Well done, Laura.
Well done.
So we'll be in touch with you to choose your films, and all the photographs we've printed off at the Wonder Lab will also be sending out to the winners. Top photos as well. Perfect.
Sorry, I've like completely forgotten anything that we were supposed to close with, but I did want to say thank you to Duffy. He has helped us set up this amazing situation that you can't really see, but you've
It's
obviously
very
been able
high-tech.
to see like the camera that's showing off the photos. And yeah, he's like massively helped us with all the graphics and stuff today. So massive thank you to Duffy.
I've forgotten what his Instagram was.
Yeah, could you remind us what your Instagram is, please?
Click advance.
Click advance. Follow
Yeah.
now. So a few last reminders. Our Kodak portrait competition is open. If you go on our website, we've got a big banner, you can't miss it, with the Google form to enter, and that's open until the end of August. So you've got the whole summer to get some lovely shots in. We've got 1 or 2 prizes I think Andy will do from Kodak Alaris, and then also a category for members of Club AW.
Yeah, we're going to do a special, I don't know what the timings on any of this is yet, but yeah, we're going to do a special prize as well.
And then we've got Wonderpan coming very soon. We've sent it off to a few people in the community, so hopefully we'll have a lot of awesome like test shots to show you soon. And we're hoping to release that on the 29th of June. If I can convince the warehouse team to help me stick I think we've got maybe 800 odd pots to go, so
It's not too bad.
easy. And club deals. If you're here, you're a member of our club, and we've got lots of cool deals that Karen's worked on for you.
Yes, we do. So there's always 4. There's always like a lab one as well. So yeah, definitely check them out, because at the moment because we've got the Portrait 160 deal on because of the Kodak competition, we've also got a little bit extra on top of that for club members. And its price is probably never going to be the same again, so take advantage of it now. Oh yeah, and then we've also got Click and Chat tomorrow, which I accidentally emailed everyone about too soon, so apologies for all of the emails today. But yeah, tomorrow's is going to be about darkroom techniques. So if you have techniques that you want to share with people, or if you want to learn about the techniques that other people have been using, then try and come along to that. It's at 12 o'clock, and yeah, like I said, I sent an email about it just to remind everyone. There should be a link in there for you to sign up, and then that will come through to a spreadsheet for me, and then I will invite you to that actual Google video.
Cool.
So yeah.
And Lawrence says that he'll tell Mr. West the good news at the weekend.
Oh, good.
That's amazing.
I don't think we've got any prizes that he can have, but
Send him the stale bread that's left over from the breakfast bar.
yeah.
Okay, I think that's
Lucky
everything.
him.
Also, thank you to
Yeah.
Kate massively for making the trip up here. I'm sure everyone
Yeah.
loved your talk on filters, and you've got some TikTok competition now.
Encouraging them.
But thank you so much for coming in, and yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed the live stream.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's everything.
We'll
Yeah.
see you on the next one. Bye guys!
Bye.